If you live in the United States, you only need to be asked one question to get the answer I'm looking for. What company makes the rally car? Yep, it's Subaru. And it's not because they're the best at it or the most powerful. Subarus are successful rally cars. It's a fact. In the US, it's just the go-to answer because these all-wheel drives are readily available, and their parts are plentiful. In the last episode, I tried out a few different rally cars to pick a rallycrosser. Subaru was avoided mainly because of the price tag. I truly liked my findings, I just couldn't find the right car. However, my good friend and owner of Broken Motorsports changed all that. You see, Billy Petrow has a huge background with Subarus. I met Billy a few years ago and I've been helping him out ever since.
2010, I met Ryan at the Team O'Neill rally. When I did meet him, seemed very ambitious, kind of had a heart for the sport, so we always like helping people out like that, kids that have drive for the sport that want to get into it.
To put Bill Petrow in perspective, this man once won a rally stage in a Ford Fiesta with factory power and factory suspension. He's a mentor to me.
Since 2001, I've been buying Subarus, working on them, fixing them, repairing them, modifying them, building them from the ground up, doing rally car builds, things like that. 2007, I decided that I wanted to make it more official, build my own shop. Ever since then, we've gone after the rally market in the U.S. Pretty hard.
Billy has that grassroots rally spirit. He's also somebody who will bend over backwards for you. If you hang in there and you're willing to help him out, he'll help you out. Well, like most rally people, but you know, he's done things for me that were totally unnecessary just to see me try to succeed in this. He really is like kind of a self-taught guy. Really impressive what he has accomplished from basically his own wallet and his own drive to get it done.
Now we do full-on builds. We do in-house cage building. We have a local painter that paints all our stuff for us. We do all the modification that you need to get to the stages and get you going.
Every once in a while, there's a chance to deliver and test what he built. Today was the day to deliver Alan Wilzig's orange camoed stage car. Wilzig's car and other cars like this cost well into the $20,000 to $30,000 range. This being said, a really well-prepped stage car can run you easily into the 100,000s pretty quick if you want all the gizmos and stuff like that.
Hey, look at me. Hey, look at me.
I was watching Billy test this car as we prepped Alan Wilzig for stage rally. All the while I was replaying in my head what he told me. I can daily drive and race a Subaru for $2,000. Sure, it's no stage car, but beggars can't be choosers. Alan's stage car is still pretty close to stock, so a $2,000 Impreza should perform better than any of the cars I had in mind. Billy was right. This is what I should go for.
I talked him into doing a Subaru mainly for the idea of there's already existing parts out there, us being predominantly a Subaru shop. Obviously, I've got tons of parts of stuff, you know, anything that he could possibly need laying around. Ironically, after we had talked about it and he kind of agreed, I somehow forgot in my memory that I had a bug-eye shell sitting in the back of my shop.
Yes, I could have gone with a Volvo. And I probably could have fixed that Volkswagen Rabbit's transmission. However, with Billy's offerings and all-wheel drive, I felt I couldn't go wrong here. Plus, there's one big advantage to the shell. I could put a motor in it. How do you build a WRX motor WRX for less than $2,000? You find one at auction that's crashed. You could probably do it, but it would take a lot of time to find a cheap WRX that everyone somehow missed or forgot to bid on. I didn't go that route though, for one very important reason. I wanted to build a car that I could prep for Rally America's open light class. Well, you see, according to Rally America's performance rally rules, Article 10.2, Class Rules, Open Category. Open Category is composed of 4 classes: Open, Open Light, Group 5, and Group 2. The engine multipliers for this category include rotary as a 1.8. Ah, here it is. Open Light class. Vehicles must be all-wheel drive, normally aspirated, and derived from models sold globally in minimum quantities of 1,000. The maximum displacement is 2650cc for overhead cam engines and 3313cc for pushrod engines. In short, this means that the non-turbo Subaru 2.5i motor dominated this competitive class. So that's why I'm going this route, with hopes to someday race Rally America's open light class if I ever get the money and opportunity to do it. Billy gave me a deal I couldn't resist. If I bought his silver Bug-Eye for $600, he'd buy an auction license for Copart.com. But he said, well, you buy that for $600 and we'll find you a clean Impreza that probably a non-turbo Impreza that was either hit in the rear or something like that, you know, that has a working driveline and runs and drives.
I let Ryan know that we had this available. Probably be a good idea to just throw another drivetrain into it. It was basically just a rolling shell.
And he's like, I've been looking around and they've been selling for about $800 to like $1,400. So if $1,400 is your max, $600 for the car, $2,000, you have yourself a non-turbo WRX shell car. Copart.com is an auctioneering website that takes live car auctions and brings them to one database. I was amazed at some of the stuff you can bid on. Sometimes I'd manage to find a collector car for cheap, and other times the only cars that were interesting to me were the ones that were reduced to piles of ash. Not that I was going to buy them, but it was still interesting that you could bid on something like that. While I was at school, it was back to the daily grind of searching for the perfect car. Instead of Craigslist, this time I was looking for specifics. The biggest problem was trying to find one that was manual, that ran, because there's a lot of automatic wagons and stuff like that. It's like getting close to the wire, you know, it's like we gotta start building something and it's really not helping. It took about 2 months for me to find something that had a clean engine and trans to fit my Bug-Eye shell. Finally, this gray 2006 Impreza Wagon was found. Starting bid, $625. I typed in $650 and the bidding war began. At the end of the bid, it was won by us, $1,200 for the car. I gave Billy gas money and he picked up the car from Pittsburgh. All I had to do now was show up at Broken Motorsports and put the 2 cars together to make one. With that, I needed the help of Billy and fabricator Justin Hinman.
So I'm Justin Hinman. I am the roll cage fabricator / engine builder / general mechanic.
The first step was to pull the donor wagon apart. I grabbed a few tools and cued the music.
Well, I've been told that you can make the mold of what you want to be. So I stay true to me. Well, I've been told.
Is that really how it's done? It's just freaking clips everywhere.
You just blow the thing off.
Blown it off. Didn't I? I just blown it off.
You just...
This is me trying to beat Chris Harris on carts.
Oh,
That'll do it.
that's how you do it.
I can only be myself.
After pulling the bumpers and fenders off the wagon, it was time to tackle the wiring harness. We had to be really careful with the wiring since the same wiring harness was going back into the new car. This is where Billy's expertise was needed in full force. I sat back and watched him figure out the maze of wires. Once wiring was sorted and stowed away, Justin and I moved the car to the lift to finish the teardown. We dropped the motor.
Bolted the engine, transmission, rear differential, drivetrain, subframe, suspension, all the interior, completely stripped the 2.5i.
So we're working into the night here, and Justin is just about ready to drop the subframe, and we're on our way. The way Subarus work, it's just like front and rear subframes, they come off, suspension comes with it. That just dropped out of the car, we skidded it, we dragged it off into the corner of the shop. We just got the rear out of the wagon, and now we just need to get the front. With the front subframe comes the motor, comes the transmission, and it just literally just was like a piece of cheese. It was like, and we just peeled the car frame right off, and we had motor, all the wiring, disc brakes, suspension, half shafts, all still together. And we're almost done. Here comes the brake booster. Oh. There we are. Pedal box to go. And then this will get crushed. By the time we were most of the way through, it started to get really late into the night. Everything is pretty much off. Engines pulled, fuel tanks out, front and rear subframes. So, once we get everything out of the interior, we can swap it into the other car. And it's basically just plug and play, kind of. In Billy's shop, it's a garage in Union City, New Jersey. There's no outside, put the parts outside. It's like, there's like 20 cars jammed in there at all times. For Billy to open up his shop like that and say, okay, like, we'll throw all your parts over here and like take up 2 bays, like that's a huge deal.
From there, it was just basically bolting it back into the WRX.
We finally got to pull my new WRX shell out of its hiding spot. The new wiring harness was the first thing to go in. This car was pretty gutted to begin with, so it made it easy to reverse the process that we took to strip the wagon. Out with the old parts, in with the new ones. Well, kind of. We ran out of time.
The original plan was to get the car all together and have it ready and done before Ryan went to New Zealand for a study abroad program. Unfortunately, with the limited time that Ryan had and the limited time that we had in the shop, we weren't able to get the car done in time. So basically he left.
My studying plans were already set in stone. I didn't have time to finish the project. I was going to have to leave my car behind. When I left, we're getting the actual shell that I was going to use, rewired, putting the new wiring in from the old, or the smashed up car. The motor and everything was still sitting in the side, and that's how I left it. I would just have to figure out a way to pick up my project in 6 months. February 4th, I was at Newark Airport, and I was leaving. Regardless of what happened. For now, I had to focus my mind to adapting a new world. Would Rally find me there? Join me next time. This is what's left of our Teardown. So what we had to do is we have to take the shifter out of the interior of the car just to drop the motor and the trans and everything. And we had to make a maze of plastic pieces to get out of here. There, hold my rod. Hold my mud flap. Hold my mud flaps. These aren't mud flaps. Hold my heater core. There you go. You got that. Just got the rear subframe out. Justin, what do you think?
Could have been a little bit easier, but hey.
How many
it's
hours?
a Subaru.
How many hours of sleep did you get last night?
4
Oh,
at best.